Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SF Live. I'm your host, Myrna Lim. The battle is on for control of the 8th largest economy in the world, who's now suffering the 3rd highest unemployment rate in the country. The state of California has to choose between two major candidates, Meg Whitman, who has so far spent $120 million of her own money. Meg Whitman, who has not had any experience of public service, who has, as she admitted, failed to vote several of those elections. We have Attorney General Brown, who probably has $30 million in the bank as of today, has 40 years of public record experience, who has served as mayor of Oakland, who has served as governor of the state before, who has run for president and lost to former President Bill Clinton, who has ran for senator and lost to Pete Wilson. What distinguishes the two contestants for this governor position is their length of relationship and engagement with different communities, such as the Filipino American community. But is this enough? The Filipino Americans have turned out in support of Governor Jerry Brown, former Governor Jerry Brown, current Attorney General Jerry Brown. There are 2 million Filipinos in California. A lot of Filipinos do vote. But still, is it enough? Will the different communities of color turn out to vote for Attorney General Jerry Brown?
And I believe, with my experience as governor, as mayor of Oakland, and now as Attorney General, I've got what it takes to get those legislators together and to mobilize and build on the strength. California is a very wealthy state. We can solve our problems if we have a leader that knows what is going on, it tells the truth, and certainly builds on the Filipino-American community, which I've done in every office that I've held.
Well, Meg Whitman is claiming that you do not have any plan.
Oh no, I have a very clear plan to create 500,000 renewable energy jobs. I have a plan to reform the pensions. I've got a plan on education. We got a plan on how to deal with the budget. And we can do so by starting right after November, bringing in all the legislators and getting that done early in the year instead of waiting till where we are now in September with nothing to show for it other than wrangling by politicians in Sacramento. That I'm going to stop. At my state in life, at this stage, I think as a Californian first, not as a member of a party, and we're going to get it done. That's my commitment.
Okay, one other question. All over the country, Democrats are scared that there's going to be a wipeout. Are you afraid of the same thing in California?
I'm running a very independent campaign. The way I see the world now, we've got to get Republicans and Democrats pulling together. So whatever happens in Washington, here in California, we have the wealth, we have the brains, we have the technology. We just got to pull people together, and that's what the next governor has to do. Whitman has been a divisive force. She wants to divide California. I want to unite. A uniter, not a divider.
Okay? One more question.
Yeah, we got to go.
Okay. So, Jerry, what are the top 3 issues for Californians, and how do you plan to address those issues? So one more time for bus. Jerry, what are the top 3 issues in California, and how do you plan to address those issues?
Number one, we've got to deal with the budget, and we do that by starting right after the election, involving not just a handful of legislators, but all 120. And then, at some point, if we don't have a consensus, we take it to the people and get them to vote on what services they want and how much they want to pay for it. That's number one. Number two, we have to have a resolute commitment so that higher education is open and available to everybody on reasonable terms. And then thirdly, I want to take the power in Sacramento and put it back in the hands of local cities and counties and school districts. There's been too much of a Sacramento power takeover, and we need to devolve that power closer to people, where people can judge how to spend the money and how to control the elected leaders.
And what's the message you want to get out to the Filipino Americans today that are your supporters?
The message I want to get out is I got a jobs plan. Invest in renewable energy. Invest in fixing up every home and building that is energy inefficient. We can literally create millions of jobs by investing in our energy independence. Instead of buying the oil from Saudi Arabia and the other foreign countries, we can create the energy right here with Californians, and then that will stimulate the economy that will ripple through every community of California.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, thank you. All right, guys, thank you. Give me that. Thank you.
Conceptually, but it's really more dependent on how big is your house, what your electricity rates. So,
have you met Robert Bonta?
Hi. How are you?
She is the host of a TV show in San Francisco. This is Robert Bonta.
How are you? Nice to see you.
I want you to help him be our next Alameda councilman.
Running for city council in Alameda.
Yeah, spend more time on this guy. I mean, Jerry's got his commercial. He needs a commercial.
How are you?
Okay, good to see you. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Tim Dayana, co-chair, Filipinos for Brown. I don't have a title. I have the same title as everyone else because I don't want a title because it makes me special. I'm working. All right?
So what's the plan for Jerry Brown? Do you think he's going to win?
Well, we're having another event in Los Angeles, Filipino Americans for Brown in Southern California. Jerry just confirmed he would do it. They raised about $20,000. So with the money we have here and the other, we'll do close to $40,000, $50,000. So we'll do.
You really think he's going to win?
Absolutely. If Meg Whitman has spent $100,000, he spent less than $100 million. He's spent less than $1 million, 10-to-1 ratio, and it says that money didn't work. So I'm very confident he's going to win. All right, thank you.
How do you think Jerry Brown is going to win?
Yes,
Why?
definitely. Because we are going to work for him, get the votes for him.
What does Jerry Brown have that will pull a miracle for him to be
Well,
a billionaire?
he support to people like our accountants, our graduates, and so many graduates from. Yes, we have to work for them.
Hi. Yes.
Do you think he's going to win?
Of course.
How is he going to be a billionaire?
Well, as you know, he has a lot of charisma, and he has a lot of friends who remembered how well he governed the state when he was governor. So I think he would be a much better governor now that he has matured. I don't think money counts at this point. I think people count. Yes. And I think he is the best bet for the younger generation because he understands how important the green development, natural resources. As you know, when he was governor, he was doing green work already. In fact, he was driving this old bug, and he refused to stay in the governor's mansion. And he was staying in a small apartment in Sacramento. So just that, by example, I think would be most helpful right now in our state.
So the